Alfie is a WOR race winner.
Jensen makes it 5 in a row.
Danny Berejnay wins on debut.
Shanaka returns to winning ways in WOR.
Season 12 sees a new man. It's Shadow. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jensen is the new king of PlayStation.
From the back row of the grid, against all odds, Nicholas Longy wins the title.
Goes past the safety car.
What has gone on here?
Berman spins,
Stunning move from the Spaniard.
He's taken out Rambo. Here comes Longy.
we're going 4 wide down to turn 1.
Oh, he's taking him out.
The captain runs complete.
Tomek to the inside.
Shadow wins the Brazil. Absolutely sensational.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WOR Tier 1, the only place on a Monday night you get to see Otis Lawrence, and this time you might see him win a championship as well. There has been a little bit of a problem with the lobby to start with. I kicked a few people out, so I'm hoping everything has gone fine and dandy. However, I am joined this week by the non-imposterous Ryan Jacobs. Welcome along, Ryan. Thank you for coming back, and what a race for you to be back on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Missed last week at Japan, but thankfully you've got the one and true Ryan Jacobs back in the Convox after there's been a few imposters being in the Convox. Obviously, Steve's doing a very good job replacing me when I did that race in Singapore. So yeah, it's great to be back in Abu Dhabi. It is always an exciting race. We've seen that in previous games and in previous seasons here in WOR. It's always a thrilling race, and I'm really, really looking forward to how this is all going to play out here tonight.
Now, yeah, it's interesting. They are just about to start their short quali. Some of them are on track already. However, we will talk about the standings and how Otis Lawrence can win it tonight. He's got that 81-point gap over Smokey, and with it being a sprint race as well, there's 108 points still to get this season, with 4 rounds remaining, including this one. So Otis has a real possibility with that 81 points. And do you think it's going to happen tonight, Ryan? I think first of all is the question to ask.
I think if you're a betting man, yeah, you always put it on notice to do it here tonight, because there's a lot. This man doesn't feel pressure at all. He's got so much confidence about him that you just know he's going to deliver the laps, and there's going to be no real mistakes. But if you think about it, his championship rivals are already going to try and put him under as much pressure as possible here tonight, and I really can see one of them two really going to maybe chuck one down the inside and really put him under some pressure. But I do feel that Otis is going to handle that pressure like he always does, and he will probably secure the championship here tonight in some quite dominant fashion.
Yeah, it's It's going to be an interesting one, and the way Ryan, no, the way you've driven this season, right? No, the way that Otis has driven this season, it sounds like it's going to be absolutely. Well, I say it sounds like it looks like he's just been so. I don't want to say he has been unstoppable. There's been races where he's made mistakes, but no one really has been able to come up to the mark and really challenge him for it so far. There's been a few occasions from Cider and Smokey who've really pushed him far, but nothing really major. But let's go on board with Ryan. He's not Ryan. I'm going to get you and him mixed up. It's because you had that one race, and I've just got you stuck in my head. But it's the track is so evolved now. It's the first time I believe we're doing the Abu Dhabi this style, especially in Tier 1. And immediately Otis throws himself on pole by 2.5 tenths of a second to Choco. So, I mean, yeah, it's the practice for a lot of these drivers to get in for this track because it's new. Do you think they've done more now?
Yes, definitely. Whenever there's a new track on this game or previous games, you always got to put in way more hours because when a track has such dramatic changes like this one, Abu Dhabi, you've got to put a lot more time into it to get a feeling and an understanding for the track because there are always little tweaks and changes compared to other tracks in the game because, for example, Silverstone, that really never has changed. So drivers can spend a little bit of time on that and be up to speed, whereas a track like Abu Dhabi, which has had a lot of changes around it, you've got to find new lines and find where's the best point to get on the power and different lines you can take possibly as well. It's all about finding which line is best to take around different corners, so and which gear is better too. So there's all these little elements which drivers have to take into consideration. So it's no surprise that they do have to take a lot more time. As a driver myself, obviously, you do spend probably double the amount of time on a new track than a track which you're certainly familiar with.
So we've just seen Connor Binnett at the exit of turn 15 there, and you know what? I do like this new layout that they've got as Lucas has thrown himself into P6 currently as well. So Otis, Axe and Placky, and it's good to see Placky come back and do some, well, just be competitive because it's not been the Placky we've known for this for previous seasons. He's been up there fighting the likes of Tom Manley and Ronha in the previous 2 seasons, and they've won the championships and gone on to bigger, better things. Especially Thomas Ronha, who is absolutely incredible in the esports scene right now. But he's just not been able to keep the momentum up with this new game.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what just happens. Some drivers just aren't able to adapt better than others, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. And maybe finally, Placky's finally found that bit of form, bit of speed later on in this season, and sometimes that's what happens for certain drivers, and then that can catapult them into the next season, which always seems to be the case, as drivers which start to find some pace near the end of a season usually start to become a lot more dominant in the next season and really push on to bigger and better things and really fight for the title. And maybe that's what Placky needs, is a good end to this season, so that when it's the next WR season next year possibly, that he'll be ready for it and he'll be fighting for that title, because we've seen glimpses of potential from Placky, but he's not been that consistent, and I think that can go for quite a lot of drivers this season that we've seen from who we feel like could do better but just fall short of the mark at some races which we really expected them to do a lot better at.
Yeah, there's a few, and one of those that really sticks out for me is Matthew, because you talk about potential to not really having anything come of it. He's been so unlucky this season. It's great to see him back, but not what we expected from him at all. As he has just about to finish a lap time, as PSR Nick puts himself provisionally P8, and then Matthew decides, you know what, I'm going to go P7 with that, and drops Nick down a place. But yeah, Matthew, I mean, it's very much a what could have been for him, unfortunately, because he was touted to want to really battle Otis Lawrence.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just, unfortunately for Matthew, it's that same old habits which came into his head of when things don't go his way, he thought, right, let's throw in the towel, pack your things, and let's go and not come back. And fortunately, he still has the passion for racing and decided not to sell his rig and everything that comes with it. He decided to come back to it again for I don't know how many times, but it's good to see him back nevertheless, because he's such a talented driver which could certainly put some good results up, and we've seen that throughout this season. He's been fighting Otis Lawrence for remember Austria being one of his best rounds, getting a really good qualifying, and then unfortunately spinning and losing out on a great result there due to a bit of misfortune. And as I mentioned, that Smokey spinning through that long right-hander there, another driver that's had a great season, but one you could argue could have been a little bit better. But there's still a few rounds left to go, and Smokey can certainly do a little bit better there. But again, it's good to see Matthew back, and hopefully he can have a good race here tonight.
Let's hope so. Finn Bob is on a lap. I think he's just rounding turn 14 now under the bridge at the hotel, and just trying to get a lap time in for him, because his 124.4 at the moment is not competitive enough to be any in with a fight for points, but he has thrown himself into P15 currently. Hoopalicious is going into the pits, so we won't go on board with him. McCabe Sam, everyone's favourite. Let's have a look at, and he's gone well off the track there, so he's definitely not going to be doing anything at the end of turn 5. WR Smokey then, yet to set a lap time. I think he has recovered from the no, he hasn't. He's going off wide. I'm not able to pick a driver that's not making a mistake or not deciding to do something quick. VSR Finn, let's see if he can produce a lap time for me. He's a 1:23.6 at the moment, and he's going down up into turn 9 now is the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's hope he can set a decent enough lap time to get him higher than he is at the moment.
Yeah, Finn will certainly be looking to deliver a good lap here, the Irishman in particular. Chucking the car in here, keeping it nice and tight through this nice revamped section of the track, which I think is a great addition to this game, and really is a lot more flowing, and it really produces a nice qualifying lap. And then through this double right-hander, a lot of the drivers going a little bit wide there again from Finn, using all the curve available, and he does improve, goes up into P13, and Choco as well going up into P2 there. Nice lap from the Haas driver, and Otis Lawrence is improving, up by a 10th now, heading into sector 3 now.
Let's see what the current championship leader, shall we even say champion-elect, because it looks like it's going that way, but he's gone quite well, using as much as the track as possible without invalidating. It's a little bit forgiving, I think, at the exit of turn 14, but across the line for Otis Lawrence is only just quicker than his lap time before. I think people will be surprised that they are that close to Otis at this time at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say so, but again, what I've noticed as well from Otis is it's the banker lap and the second lap usually aren't his best laps at all. He always seems to build confidence into qualifying. The longer it goes on, the quicker Otis becomes, and you'll see on the last lap it'll probably be around a 2, maybe even 3/10 improvement on this final lap. I'm not sure if that's just him being conservative on these laps, or that the track just vamps up that much and he just feels way more confident that he can just chuck the car in and just knows that it sticks. So it'll be interesting if he does improve as much as he usually does, but that's the pattern I've noticed from Otis in these past qualifyings.
Well, the time difference between him and PSR Nick, who did finish second last time out at Japan, is only, half a second? So it's not that much of a gap between 14 drivers at the moment, and that is some incredible lap times being set, and you can see how close some people are. Wilson and Sav, agonisingly close. Same with the 2 Ferraris as well. Connor and Matthew, they're close. Axe and Placky, really close as well. There's a lot of drivers who are setting very similar lap times right now, but PSR Nick, as he enters turn 13 and 14, see what he can do. I do like how they've just, it's marginal adjustments to the track, and I think it's made it flow a little bit more in that sector 3, but across the line for PSR Nick, it's currently P3 for him.
Yeah, and this man's got full of confidence. The 12-year-old has got so much confidence that he can just chuck these his car through that last sector, and the car was just sticking, and it was unbelievable to watch how he was able to do that there. And his teammate Wilson going up into P2 as well. So it's good laps there from the Alpine boys, as they'll be looking to really apply the pressure to Otis here tonight. And Wilson just just over a tenth back from Otis here as Wilson. So it's a good job from him. He'll be feeling a bit more confident now, as Wilson always feels a lot better in the race than he does qualifying.
Hoopalicious throws himself into P10 with a 23 dead there, and right now, I mean, we're backing Otis to take full, pretty much the championship tonight, but it might not go all his way. With the two Alpines in second and third, they can get some really, really good. Well, maybe they can use tactics with each other to really help Wilson. Maybe even, get a race win here tonight and allow him some, vital points, because Wilson is still with a chance for that second place. It's a very tight battle between himself, Wilson, and Scyther. Scyther's really, unfortunately, dropped off the last couple of weeks. He's, I think, 29 points now away from Wilson. He really needs to pick it up, and currently he's P8 in the championship. No, P8 in the qualifying.
Yeah, and sometimes that just happens with drivers. You just get a run of bad form, and once you have that bad run of form, it's very, very hard to get out of for some drivers in particular. And I think that's what we're seeing here a little bit with Cypher, and he's a very talented driver, but sometimes you just get these bad runs of form, and it's very hard to get out of, because your confidence drops to a point where you don't feel like you're the same driver as you were before. And I feel like he's just going through that period at this moment in time, and I've seen him in other leagues, and he's just been performing at the top as well in there. So I feel like it's just a little bit of qualifying pace he just needs to sort out here in WOR, and then he'll be right back in there, and he'll be all right. But again, he'll be fighting with his new teammate Wilson for the top, for the final spot on that podium position in this championship, and he will not give up to the end. But it'll be interesting to see if he can pull out a good lap and really get close to Wilson here in qualifying.
Let's see what WR Smokey can do. We'll be on board with him. He's a 23, pretty much dead at the moment on timing. And while he's still pretty close to Otis, he's down in 12th place. He's going to want to be much higher than that, especially in the sprint race, because you don't want to be fighting your way through the sprint race. You don't want to be wasting your energy in that when the feature races, you want to be at the front, just pretty much chilling behind, and then going from there. M Racer is retired. Is that coming out of the pit lane?
It is. I cannot believe M Racer has done that. That is a rookie mistake and a half, if I've ever seen that. He hates me saying it, but my oh my, he does not help himself sometimes, as that man. I cannot believe he has spun out the pits here at Abu Dhabi. That's such a hard thing to do as well. I've never seen anybody do that. The tyres are obviously cold, but you take precautions on that. So that is some mistake there from M Racer.
Definitely not ideal at all. Smokey's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. If they aren't quick enough out of the blocks in front, could cost him some time. The smallest margins, especially tonight with everyone being so close, could cost him massively. M Racer has really shot himself in the foot. He's currently P7, but he could be so much further up, because he's looking pretty racy tonight as well. And Smokey's actually slowed down on his lap. He is not happy with it. So something went wrong for Smokey there. So I think it would be rather remiss of me not to go on board with Otis Lawrence, as he's going to set his final, start his final lap here in qualifying.
Yeah, a lot of drivers, I just noticed that as well. All backing off in their final runs, obviously making a few mistakes here and there. And Cypher goes up into P2. That's a mega lap there from the Alpine, from the Williams driver, sorry, the American. As I said, he needed to deliver a good qualifying, and he must have listened to me, and he's pulled out the bag as well. Choco as well, he is down on his time by 14 thousandths. So the Haas driver is going to have a very, very good sector 3 if he's going to want to steal pole position away from Otis.
Yeah, Choco's been quite really incredible with his qualifying, but at the moment, like you mentioned, just a little bit down at the moment. Otis Lawrence then into turn 6 and 7 is looking pretty solid, using as much of the track as possible without invalidating. He's going to the sector mark now. What is it going to be at the moment for Otis Lawrence? He's up 2.5 tenths. That is a huge amount of time in comparison to everyone else at the moment. But what can Otis Lawrence do? Can he, well, cement the pole position it looks like he's going to get tonight?
Yeah, it's looking likely as he's just chucking this car in and it's absolutely sticking. And even with that massive snap of oversteer, he caught it magnificently, got back on the power straight away. And he, again, clipping that inside curb. You can just see how he just chucks the car in and it sticks. And there we go, a 22.326. I did say he always leaves it to the end. And what an improvement that was. 3 tenths clear off Cypher here, and Nick is actually going to improve coming up to the line, and that's up into P2 for PSR. Nick is second place again in qualifying for the Alpine driver. What a lap time indeed.
That is incredible, and Axe has just invalidated coming into turn 16, and that wasn't actually going to be a good lap from him, but he's going to be so frustrated with that. And is that Smokey that spun? He's got to be no higher than 16th. Maybe he's had an incident with Scyther, because they're both really slow at that point in the track at the exit of turn 14. And Smokey really having a nightmare in a race, in a qualifying where he needs to have a good one.
Yeah, that is really surprising from Smokey, and a very, very uncharacteristic from the Red Bull man. And it's not something we've seen from him very often, if I'm being brutally honest. But these things happen when you're here in Abu Dhabi. We always see dramatic races, and we've seen it in real life. We see it here in esports as well, that, you know, things go a bit pear-shaped. And unfortunately for Smokey, that's not gone his way in qualifying, and he's got a lot of work here to do. So now we've got the sprint race coming up. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Well, sprint qualifying. So let's see how this is all going to play out, because Smokey is going to have to be aggressive here.
Yeah, Smokey's got a lot of hard work for him to do. Let's go quickly down the order. Otis Lawrence yet again on pole position. PSR Nick then in second place, with Scyther in third. Great return to form for him. PSR Wilson in fourth, with Matthew in fifth. Sixth to Choco, got to go fast in seventh. Eighth, Lucas Axe, ninth, and rounding out the top 10. And very much what could have been for M Racer. We won't know really what happened. Amin, Placky, Sav. That's the low position for Sav as well. Hoopalicious, 2D, Smokey, Connor, Finn Bob, and McCabe, Sam in that order. Ryan, I mean, obviously expecting Otis Lawrence to be on pole, but there's some people out of position that should make the sprint race quite entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the one thing I'm looking forward to, is this mix around in terms of drivers being up and down the field. In particular, a few drivers which we don't usually see up the top, and again a few drivers at the bottom that we don't usually expect to see, like M Racer. Again, the Red Bull man, the two Red Bulls had one of their worst qualifyings of the season once again. So things like that, you're gonna have, the Red Bull strategy team are gonna have to pull out some good strategies here if they want to get a good result for the race coming up later on.
Yeah, a lot of hard work for both Red Bull drivers there. And M Racing, the German, not really, well, he's not touched the podium this season. He's been close twice. I think it was round 6 was at Belgium, and maybe Miami as well. What a race Miami was. But these guys struggling a little at the moment, especially in recent weeks. No point scoring for, or minimum. He's had 1 point since round 7. Is M Racer, and that's not ideal when he another driver with so much potential.
Yeah, exactly that. And remember, we had him for one of the favourites for this championship as well, to really put it to Otis Lawrence this season. And unfortunately, just hasn't gone his way one bit. A lot of misfortune, and some of it has just been driver errors, unfortunately, for the German. You really feel for him in that sense, but maybe this could give him the confidence or the wake-up call that he needs to go into the next season to really start to fight for podiums a lot more consistently, as we haven't seen that consistency from him really at all this season. And and that's a killer here in league racing, and you've really got to feel for him on that, because once you get a consistent run of form, you're a very hard driver to stop, and that's what you see from a lot of these drivers who we see coming through. In particular, like Otis, obviously, once you get that form going and the flow starts rolling, and nothing can really stop you then.
Right, as the countdown is on, who's going to win the sprint race, Ryan?
I'm going to be boring again, and it's going to be Otis winning this one.
Yeah, in the chat as well, let us know who you think is going to win the sprint race. Let's head over to the screen as we wait to start off the sprint race in WOR Tier 1 at Abu Dhabi. It's away we go, and it looks like a pretty good start, but I really don't like how that's started. For Cider, Cider's passed Nick straight away. Nick has had a pretty poor start there. Choco up past Matthew as well. A really poor start from Amin. He's down 3 places, battling away with Hoopalicious. But side by side with Choco is Matthew. Matthew back up past that Haas, and the Haas is being blocked in a little bit with Lucas. What a start he's had as well. Great qualifying, and there is a round for Lucas. What have we just seen, Ryan?
Yeah, there's contact, I believe, from M Racer. I was just on board with Lucas after that impressive start. The chat, especially Crispy, was obviously loving that one, and unfortunately for him, he's just got hit from behind. Nothing he could have done. He placed his car perfectly, and somebody just broke way too late, and that was him down now into P20. He's going to have to pull off a zero-stop strategy if he's going to want a good result, a good race later on, but he's up already into P19 after overtaking his teammate of Finn Bob.
Yeah, not a great chance. Not a great start for Lucas. And well, he did everything right, like you said, and he has just been dealt a poor hand. Got to go fast. It's down 2 places. Sav has had a great start. He's up 3 places at the moment. McCabe Sam is up 4. A fan favourite is McCabe Sam. But look at that. Sav is really sandwiched between the 2 McLarens at the moment, and you really can't separate them. And Amin trying to get past Axe as well. There's a lot of close action at the moment.
Yeah, it really is, and obviously in this sprint you can see a lot of drivers using the RS a lot more efficiently and going for it as soon as they can, and Sav is really applying that pressure to Got to Go Fast, who's really fallen backwards already. 7.5 attempts already to Placky on lap 2, so he might just have to let Sav go here because you don't want to be losing DRS. And here goes Sav down the inside, not braking too late, and it's Got to Go Fast, just really letting him through here. Seems to me that he didn't put up too much of a fight, but now he's got to defend from his McLaren teammate of Hoopalicious. He's not making it too easy, but the American flying through quite nicely there.
Yeah, Sav needed to make that move, and Hoopalicious is through as well. Sorry, in the background, I'm in an Axe battling away. And with 2D trying to get involved as well. There's so much going on. However, at the front, Otis Lawrence is 1.5 seconds clear already. And that is just crazy stuff. But here comes Axe past Smokey, past Gotta Go Fast. Gotta Go Fast is dropping like a stone right now.
Yeah, it's not really going his way here in this race, and I've seen that before from him in previous seasons, and I'm not just sure why, because he's an absolutely brilliant qualifier. And unfortunately, this seems to me that the setup for this race really hasn't seemed to click for him here, as everybody seemed to get better exits and looks like they have better straight line speed for him as well. Maybe it's a confidence thing, and he just really isn't hooking up, and that's a big mistake again. He's gone off the track, and here comes Anamine, and he's going to go around the outside here. It's going to be a drag race between the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren. He should go around the outside, and he does very nicely indeed. And Got to Go Fast down 6 places already in 1 lap, 3 out of 10.
This is not ideal for him at all. Everyone is on a set of mediums for this sprint race, which is really not surprising at all. But someone who's having a pretty good race is McCabe Sam, who's throwing it up the inside of his teammate into turn 5. He's really turned it on in the race. Lucas has got past Smokey, but I think that's because Smokey's left the session. Smokey is at this is championship over, surely.
Yeah, you've got to say so. And here comes McCabe Sam down the inside. What a move that was from the Aston Martin on his Aston Martin teammate of Tuddy. And he might be able to get a move on Got to Go Fast here. He's got a good exit again. here is the Aston Martin. Both got similar level of ERS. It'll all be down to the setup and a little bit more slipstream for McCabe Sam. He's going to go to the outside line. Will he be able to hold it around the outside is the question. He's got the confidence. He's got the... Oh, no, he doesn't. He's lost it and he's made contact. Got to go fast into the wall. McCabe Sam, what a shame that is. The Aston Martin was absolutely flying. He's now down into P17. All that hard work is undone. And he's going to try and get past NVR Lucas. But unfortunately for him, not being able to make it stick. But he's just got a little bit too eager on the throttle there. And he spun it again. What a shame for McCabe Sam. What a start. And it's all gone wrong for the Aston Martin.
Yeah, absolutely nightmarish. And Toodie's having similar problems. And he's down. And the two Aston Martins looking strong to get themselves fighting their way through. And it's all gone pear-shaped. And not ideal for them. Let's go up a little bit. We're battling away. You know what? Scyther seems to have the measure of Nick at the moment, but Nick is under pressure from Wilson and Matthew. So some action happening at the top now as well.
Yeah, and it seems to me Matthew is certainly starting to apply that pressure to Wilson, and they've both been using their ARS a little bit more than the guys in front of Nick and Cypher, who've both got around about the same battery here. So both of them really starting to fight it out a little bit, which is going to be interesting. And Matthew using a bit more of the battery. I think he sees it an opportunity here. Will he go to the inside? And no, Wilson shutting that door quite early to make sure that Ferrari does not think of a late braking move down the inside into that long left-hander. But again, Matthew starting to apply that pressure a little bit more now, and Choco starting to fall away.
This is the Matthew that has all that promise about. He's trying different things to put Wilson off and get him into different areas, and this is exactly what we know Matthew can do once he's put his mind to it. Let's see if he can continue it. It's lap 5 of 10 now. We're about halfway through this sprint race, and these guys, Nick is really dropping away from Scyther now. Nick has to apply some pressure, or otherwise Scyther's definitely got this.
Yeah, exactly right. I feel Nick made a mistake in sector 3 there, and Cypher trying to capitalise on that mistake, but Nick just about doing enough to stick within the DRS for Cypher. But Cypher doing everything that he needs to do to keep his championship hopes alive of getting in that podium position at least, to steal it away from Wilson, who's currently in his 3rd position. So Cypher having a good sprint qualifying at this moment in time. So let's see if he's going to be able to hold on, as the DRS is very, very powerful. But again, Cypher is doing a very, very good job of keeping Nick at bay.
Yeah, it's all a little bit of, slipstream and DRS trainish at the moment. Hoopalish is getting past Sav. That's a great move around the outside of turn 9. And the McLaren driver, Hoopalicious, is, doing a really good job at the moment, trying to keep up with everything that is going up ahead, because everyone really is in DRS range of each other, down to 13th place, who's Finn is up into that 13th place, is having a good job at the moment. Connor getting close to him as well. Those two should really work together to make sure they can get back into the battle as well, I think.
Yeah, I feel like those two there's two little laps really for them to really get within those playing positions, but they'll be setting themselves up in a better position for the race now. Finn respectively up 5 and Connor up 3, so they're in a better position for the upcoming race, so they'll be quite happy with that result, to be fair. But obviously they would want a bit more from that, and again, now the pressure is certainly being applied to Wilson once again, as Matthew was squealing on that exit to go on that power, but unfortunately losing the rear end a little bit too much, and Wilson having to use a lot more of the battery now, down to around 18%. It's really not looking too comfortable for the Alpine, as he's being hit into the traction zones there. That's not looking too comfortable for the Alpine at this moment in time.
Yeah, set him off. Matthew is so much quicker, so much more confident, and Wilson in trouble from the Ferrari, but nothing is happening at the moment. Otis has a 2.2 second lead at the front and really running away with it, but the battle for P2 is hotting up. It's been like this all season though. The battle for P2 has been the one to watch, and you know what? Wilson's, I think, realised now that he needs to get a move on, and maybe Alpine will be doing a bit of team orders to let Wilson through, because he's all over the back end of his teammate at the moment. Choco's having an incredible race. He's still battling away in P6, just waiting to see if there's any scraps to be had from the battling ahead. But look at Matthew. Look how much more in control Matthew is, this is probably the best I've seen Matthew race in a while.
Yeah, certainly so, and maybe the break has done him some good. But at the same time, these two battling has invited Choco back into the phase, and he might start to apply some pressure to Matthew. And again, we could see a really messy final few laps here, as he's got nearly double. In fact, he does have double the battery off Matthew in front, so he could really use that to his advantage here on these final few laps. But again, these two seem to cool off a little bit, as Matthew did get a poor exit into turn one there, and it was a bit sloppy on the exit, so no surprises there that Matthew wasn't as close as he has been in previous laps. But again, Cypher and Nick, it's going to be interesting between these two. When will Nick go is the question.
Let's look at it from an outside point of view here. Nick's gone wide to try and switch something off. There's a retirement on track. That's Lucas. What an unfortunate race for him, and it's brought the safety car out, and all of a sudden it neutralizes everything. Everyone now has a lot of painstaking opinions to take. No one should pit at this. Surely no one's going to pit for softs at this point in the race, at this sprint race. This is... Nick dummies it. There's a few dummies, but surely no one's going to be brave enough to go in it. Because what will... one lap of racing? Is this what we're going to see?
Oh, so Finn and Connor both go into the pits. I feel this is a smart decision for the guys at the back. This is a really good decision, as they'll be on the best tyres possible. So I feel like this could actually really work in their favour here, as they'll have the best grip available to them. And it probably will be, like you say, one lap of racing. But one lap, you know, on the better tyres, better traction, these guys could really pull off something special here. So don't be surprised if you see Finn end up maybe 2-3 positions in front. They've only lost one position from this, so this really hasn't been too much of a loss here for these two drivers. But it's a smart decision from everybody else in front of them to not pit.
Now, we've just got to... well, I say we. They've got to hope that they can catch back up to the safety car. This is the one thing they may not have really thought about. The safety car will surely not come in this lap.
Well, some people believe it is gonna come in. Yep, there we go. So it is gonna come in this lap. The question is, will they catch up in time? I'm not too sure they will. It's too far for them to come in. It all depends on how long Otis takes here. For them to catch up. They've really got to push now to catch up to Otis, and Otis is not going very slowly here, so it's not looking too good for Finn and Connor here.
No, they might just, and to be honest, their tyres might be right in the right temperature as well, because they've been pushing to catch back up. I think the two Aston Martins, unfortunately, are not going to have the best of luck, but we've got 2 laps of racing with 5 drivers on fresh softs and the rest on worn mediums. This is going to be really, really interesting to see what those 5 drivers can do. Well, the 3 drivers that are in the train. And when does Otis go? He's gone a little later than I expected, and Cyther has not been put off by that. Matthew's still trying to do something to PSR Wilson. He just can't find a way past that Alpine. That Alpine must be, well, he's going to be sick of the sight of it for sure. Hoopalisha's getting close as well, but Cyther's made a little mistake out of turn 3 there, and into the wall goes Hoopalicious. He's out. Oh, well, he's not out, but that is crazy. Finn up into P11.
Yeah, he's flying right now. So is Connor as well. Connor's got a great exit. These two are going to be absolutely flying. Keep an eye on Smokey as well. He's going to be making moves. Connor, there he goes, up into P30 now. Will he be up into P12? He certainly is. There's Finn, up into the points now. What a decision this has been from the Alfa Romeo and Ferrari. For once in their lives, they've been able to get a strategy call right from the pair of them. And here we go. Connor up into P11 as well now. This is a great call from the pair of these guys. And I really wonder... the sky's the limit for these guys. They could really end up possibly into P6, I could say, for especially VSR Finn, who's got abundance of confidence right now, as he is chucking that car into this last sector now. He can brake so much later, and he's good on the power a lot earlier as well. Keep an eye on these two.
Finn, let's stay on board with him. He's all over the back of Axe F1. He's doing as much as he can right now. He's got 1 lap to make it stick, to make it work. How can the Alfa Romeo driver respond? Connor is a little bit further back from this. So much later on the break Finn can be. But Otis Lawrence has wiped out the rest of the competition. Again, he's 1.5 seconds clear. Is exactly what he does and does best. 2D, the fastest man up the inside of Axe, though, goes Finn, and he's into P9 with Sav, his next target, and I don't think Connor's going to do anything about it either.
No, certainly not. Connor's just a little bit too far back now, but Finn has got no ERS compared to Axe, who's got around 30%, but he knows, compared to the tyre difference, there's no point in battling Finn here, but he's broken way too late there, and he nearly goes right into the back of PSL Sav. But fortunately for him, getting that car just stopped in time. That could have ended horribly there for the Alfa Romeo and his front wing. But again, Nick and Cypher battling it out on this final lap. Nothing Nick can do about that one, and Axe gets back past, but the grip that Finn has, surely he's going to be fighting it. Oh, he spun around that Alfa Romeo after that incredible strategy call. It's all gone horribly wrong, and the Alfa Romeo has had absolutely zero luck here tonight. What a shame for Finn. Unbelievable drive to get up into the points, and that is his race over back down to P14.
Wow. Oh, wow. That is an incredible end. Maybe not for PSR Finn, but an incredible end to the sprint race here. PSR Connor and Smokey both much higher up than they would have been if they didn't have that safety car, if they didn't stay on the... if they didn't go to those softs after the safety car. But what a crazy end. Just the traction was there for Finn, but whoever he was battling against at the time, it definitely wasn't. PSR Connor getting driver of the day, but for you, who would you give driver of the day or driver to the sprint race to?
That was a tough question because everybody was making some great moves, great battling, but nobody really made too many gains. But I think Connor's respectable on that one, for making good few moves. He got up around 5-6 positions, I believe, from his original starting position. So I think it's safe to say Connor does, to me at least, deserve that driver of the day award. To get from P17 to P10. So, yeah, it's a great drive from Connor, and he's put himself in a great position for this race now.
Yeah, Otis Lawrence, Cyther, Nick, Wilson, Matthew, Choco, M-Racer, and Sav are your points scorers for the sprint race, and that will be how the race stands out. But at the moment, Wilson didn't score any points at all, and the gap between Otis and Smokey is 89 points. And the gap between Otis and Wilson is 93. It's getting very close, isn't it?
It certainly is, and we've got the 5 red lights coming on already, I believe. Oh, no, there we go. I thought they were going to have their strategy. I was very confused by that. Yeah, the games, and there's some drivers in the pits and some drivers on the grid. So that was a weird glitch there. I was very confused. I thought, aren't we going to do the countdown here? But no. But yeah, Otis again, he can wrap it up, I'm pretty sure now, if he gets the win here. So it'll be looking good for Otis. He'll be looking to get it done. But yeah, Cypher did a good job as well. So did Nick. Both drove really, really well, and I wonder how this race will play out now, because there's more fuel and the strategies are going to be a key element in this one.
Now, I think all Otis needs is a win. I think if he wins, he's won the... he's won it. That's mental. Otis has been absolutely incredible this season. Guys in the chat, let us know who you think is going to win this feature race here. Ryan, are we backing Otis for a win here? It seems like it's a foregone conclusion, really.
Yeah, I think we got to after that. He gave us a glimpse of what to expect. 1.5 seconds in one lap. That's ridiculous from Otis. And I think, yeah, again, it's safe to say he's going to win this one again. Unless a wheel disconnection or something where he ends up in the wall. He'll have to be something really, really silly for him to lose here tonight.
Now, I mean, there is the possibility that Otis can still win the title without finishing the race. and that's if Smokey and Wilson both crash as well. Imagine that. What a way to end the championship. You're in a wall, yet you've won a championship. That would be rather incredible itself. But enough about that. I mean, looking at it, who do you think is going to be the main surprise for us? The one to really watch out for?
That's a very good question. I feel like we've got to watch. I think Sav. I feel keep a close eye on Sav because he showed a few glimpses there in that race that he could pull off a very good result. Again, I think Racer is someone to watch as well. After that disappointing qualifying, he was outside the points, remember, up into P7 now. So he could be a real threat in this race. And again, I think we've got to watch Matthew as well. I think he'll be looking to apply as much pressure to Wilson again as possible. And hopefully this time, for his sake, Wilson folds under that pressure.
Yeah, he's got to make the starts. And maybe an undercut or an overcut here or there for those guys can really work their magic and get themselves into a good swing of things. Because Matthew really looked quick. But let's go over to the main screen. We've got 2 seconds. And then we are into the feature race for WOR Tier 1. Can Otis Lawrence win the championship tonight? We're on 5 red lights and the WOR Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is go. And looking from a point of view from PSR Nick, it doesn't look like a greatest of starts. Choco's made an absolute incredible start. He's up the inside of both Matthew and Wilson. Has the Haas driver made an absolute incredible start? He has. And that is wonderful stuff from Choco. He's still battling away with Wilson. However, I think I've lost you in the grid, Ryan.
Yeah, just loading back in now, but it seems, like you said, Choco had an unbelievable start there. Hopefully I can quickly jump back in. But yeah, great start from Choco. That's going to do his race and his start to this race the world of good.
Oh, nearly into the back was Sav, as well as Wilson nearly tagging his teammate. Sav nearly tagging someone else. Amin's got a 3-second time penalty on the first lap. This is not ideal at all. And yeah, Choco holding up, to being a great hold up for some people. VSR Finn picking up a 5-second place penalty as well. There's a lot of penalties coming in already for this one. Smokey's up a few places as well. Actually, he's down 4, so ignore that. He was just battling his way back through. McCabe Sam up into 5th place. That's great stuff for him.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's interesting to see how this tyre strategies all come into this as well. Cypher on the medium tyres. Wilson and Choco back battling it out there. And Wilson getting back past the Haas driver. Now, Matthew looking to apply the pressure to Wild Choco here. He's going to have to defend his position here because Matthew, he's looking very, very quick once again after that sprint qualifying. Will he be able to go down the inside here? He certainly lines it up. He goes for it, the Ferrari. Nicely done. Going to force Choco to the outside. Get a great exit, not giving this one up without a fight. And that is nicely defended there from Choco. But it's not over yet. He's got the slipstream, has the Ferrari. That's the inside line, and it's going to be a simple drag race. It seems to me the Ferrari's got the better straight line speed. Choco going to go later on the brakes though. Matthew going to make this difficult for Choco. It's going to be tight between the pair of them, both forcing each other onto the curbs. This is great battling and great respect. But there we go. Matthew crucially getting past Why Choco. Nicely done indeed.
Incredible stuff. And PSR Connor up into P7. He started this feature race in P10. He's now up 3 places, having an incredible battle. He is, and now he's like, he's lining up his team. Well, he's lining up Choco first, but he'll be lining up his teammates soon. Again, Cider is leading this Grand Prix, but he's on those medium compound tyres, like you mentioned. And up the inside of Matthew was Choco. What was he thinking there?
Oh my, yeah, Matthew went deep into that into that final sector. He went off the track under under the fancy lights, and that was him doing a re-entry. Choco took avoiding action, and he's just gone into the side, and the contact model has spun Choco around, and it could be potential wing damage, I believe, for PSR Sav. It is. That's why he's in the pits. But Connor is absolutely flying now, up into P6. He's behind his Ferrari teammate. I thought he'd be one to watch as well. Was Sav, and unfortunately it was a commentator's curse for Sav, and that's him down into P19. But what a start it has been for Connor. He's flying out here, and now he's onto the back of his teammate already.
Yeah, Choco now down to P8. That's not ideal for him. Placky into P9. But Hoopalicious into P7 after the crash at the end of the sprint race. He's now got himself into a good position for the main race here. M Racer has gone backwards. He's not had the greatest of races, unfortunately, at all. So Otis Lawrence battling back against Scyther on the slower compound tyres. Let's go on board with that, because you would think Scyther would be able to get away a little bit, but Otis Lawrence is not allowing him.
Yeah, and that's just, you've got to give credit to Otis with that one, because he's just been able to stick with Cypher quite easily, I'd say. 3 attempts, it's not really distance itself more than that, and you've got to give credit to Otis for being able to stick with him. But I feel like the hard tyres have just been able to get up to temperature around here a lot quicker than people could imagine, and Wilson has dropped out of the DRS range off both PSR Nick and Otis, so that's just huge for this race. But again, you've got to give credit to Nick as well. He's been able to stick with Otis here, and this is going to get really, really feisty between these three very, very shortly.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see PSR Nick still battling in it as well. Initially, Nick wasn't, in the sprint race, he wasn't able to keep up. But all of a sudden, he's found a little bit of pace. He has dropped off a little bit, but here comes Otis Lawrence up the inside into turn 6. Is that Sav leaving the session? That's not ideal at all, but Otis has retaken the lead.
Yeah, and Cypher, has tried to get a good switch back, but Otis not letting Cypher back through, and I feel like Cypher just is going to want to work with Otis now. But in my opinion, you really want to fight Otis as much as you can here. I know on the medium tyres, he's got to look after them a little bit and make them last a bit longer, but you really want to wear Otis down. You want to get his tyres to get a lot more wear into them and really give Wilson any chance he might get to maybe still keep his championship hopes alive here. And as a PSR teammate, you'd think he'd be trying to do something like that, but I feel Otis has got too much pace anyway, and he'd probably get back past, but unfortunately for Cypher, he was not being able to hold on for any longer than 4 laps.
Yeah, we'll see how much longer Scyther will continue to battle with. At the moment, it will be, if it finishes like this, Otis Lawrence will be WOR Tier 1 champion. Scyther trying his best to continue fighting that, and PSR Nick. You do wonder, if PSR Nick was here from the start, whether he would be higher up in this and taking Otis that little bit longer, because he's in the few races he has raced, he has been incredibly quick.
Yeah, and it seems to me that he's got that consistency at quite a few tracks to just pull out a good result. Unfortunately, Singapore wasn't a good display for him. So without that one, he's had some very, very promising results, and you've got to give credit to him for that one. It's not very easy to be so consistent around some of these tracks, and he's been able to do that quite consistently. Japan, 2nd place. And now here, he's looking on for a podium, and he's been able to stick with these guys quite comfortably. Similar ERS to Otis as well, so he's got good paces, Nick, and remember, he's younger than Otis as well, so he's got age on his side as well, so he's going to certainly be looking to get some experience fighting against these top tier drivers, and it's only going to do him better as every game goes by. We're going to see Nick become a lot quicker as well.
I've just seen the Ferraris mount each other as they go into turn 13. That's not something you see every day. VSR Finn got tagged at the exit of 9 again. He is not having the best of it at all. There seems to be a little bit of a desync issue with the Ferraris. Choco and Lucas both got past Hoopalicious and Placky at the same point heading into turn 9 as well. So lots of action going on, whether it be bugs or just some good overtaking. We're having it all tonight, but I do feel so sorry for VSR Finn.
Yeah, VSR Finn's just not gone his way here tonight. But in other news, it's M-Racer getting down the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Nicely done indeed. The German going down the inside of the Frenchman there quite nicely indeed. But you've got to give a bit of frustration there to Connor as well. He was getting past Matthew quite comfortably. He was right up behind, and then next thing you know it, Matthew's now teleported about a second in front of Connor. It was a very, very strange situation, and Connor lost a lot of time and invited Choco back within that DRS range. So now Connor's got a lot of work to do to see if he can pull Matthew along or leave Matthew behind and really start to close in on PSR Wilson. But PSR having such a good outing here tonight. Really good representation for the team. Second, third, fourth, fifth for these guys, and that is something to be proud of for the guys at PSR there.
Yeah, and they will only be thinking, if it wasn't for Otis Lawrence, if it wasn't for those meddling kids, anyway. Matthew then having an absolute nightmare that lap and going deep into turn 6 and then having to miss most of turn 7, which has allowed Connor past. Thankfully this time it has stuck for Connor and he's not going to see his teammate teleport up the road, and there goes Tudi off the track at turn 4 really, but a lot still happening in this midfield battle. Nick is just about keeping up with Cyther and Otis Lawrence up ahead. We might go on board with that battle again as Cyther looks to size up a move on Otis Lawrence into turn 9. Will there be anything for the Williams driver? There isn't. Otis just can place his car wherever he likes, and it just works.
Yeah, and in other news as well, M-Racer's race is over. That is a real shame. This Red Bull driver has had absolutely zero luck this season. NVR Lucas goes in deep after the first DRS straight, and that was his race. He got spun round on the curb, just a little bit of contact with Placky, and then M-Racer, sitting passenger, front wing is gone on that. He's missing a front right end plate, and that's a real shame for the German, who was having a unfortunately poor race once again, but it wasn't over for him. And there we go, Choco as well and Hoopalicious both getting past Matthew now. I wonder what's going wrong with the Ferrari, because maybe it's tyre related, but he's dropped off massively in these last few laps.
From looking like he was really solid to nothing at all. VSR Finn lost it at turn 10. Is this going to cause a safety car at all? Time will tell. I think it's going to be safe for it, but let's have a look at it from I don't know how he's lost it there, to be honest. There must be out the exit of 9, and he's just continued to spun into, well, Netherland there. But the top 3 still battling away, and Cyther really keeping these mediums alive at the moment. And Hoopalicious and Choco battling away, and those two have swapped places. Hoopalicious is having a good race.
Yeah, it seems to me the McLarens have always got good race pace. Whoever drives that McLaren, they always seem to have bad quali pace, but for the race they always seem to have quite good race pace. I don't know what it is, but that car always seems to be hooked up and glued up for when it becomes the actual race, which is really, really surprising, to say the least. In that car, but good job from the McLarens, from Hoopalicious in particular, to get up into the points already. So he'll be very happy with this pace so far, up 10 positions here already. So he'll be now looking to get past Connor, who's also up 5, I believe, after that great qualifying from the sprint race.
Yeah, I believe Matthew has front wing damage, which is why he's having problems. Well, that's what Crispy said in the chat, but yeah, he's not having the best of it. But Hoopalicious is trying to line up PSR Connor as they come down the first straight. Can he get anything sorted on this lap? He gets close. I don't think it's going to be close enough as they go into turn 6.
Just too far, but I think that'll be on purpose. He'll be wanting to get a good exit now. He's taken a wide line to make sure he gets a perfect exit. But Connor matching him stride for stride there, and now it's going to be all down to the button or whoever has the better straight line speed setup. I feel Connor's just about done enough there, and nothing Hoopalicious really can do about it on this occasion for the Ferrari to really be worried about.
Yeah, it's oh no, it is. Oh no, it was a mistake there from Hoopalicious. I thought it was a little bit of a lag spike, but out of turn 9, Choco goes up the inside at 16 and has spun Hoopalicious around, and that is absolutely nightmarish. But what is Choco is... Has he got front wing damage from that as well? I saw front wing flying.
Front wing damage again for MVR Matthew. So if he didn't have it before, he certainly has it now. And Placky as well getting involved in that one. And that is going to be a slam dunk penalty for Choco. That move was never on. And that is going to be a big old price to pay in the stewards room later on for that silly decision from Choco. I'm not sure what went on in his mind to think that move was on. But yeah, what a mistake that was. And is that a safety car, possibly, or is it a VSC? VSC deployed. So that's unfortunate for everybody who just got wing damage off Choco there, because their race certainly would have been saved.
Yeah. Though, well, they would have preferred a full safety car, but VSC has helped them a little bit because they will be able to at least cut the time that they had. Under the pit window there, so it's not ideal, but at least they haven't lost as much time as they would have done with no VSC. But yeah, interesting battling still going on, and Choco, maybe not the action we want, but it's given us some entertainment.
Yeah, thanks to Choco, we got a little bit of drama there, and that's broken up a really good midfield battle, which is a shame to say the least for those guys, because it was getting interesting, and I think Choco was losing his head a little bit because he was starting to lose a bit of time, and sometimes when you lose time, you don't know why you're losing time, and you start to panic, you feel the pressure of that, look to try and find some answers to your situation, but fortunately for him, that wasn't the case, and Cypher, unfortunately, really pitting at the wrong time there, as the VSC has just ended, so he didn't really gain much time back from pitting under that VSC, but I think it was probably around the right time for him to make that pit stop. He's coming out the pit now. Where will he surface out? Around about P11, so that's nicely done there from Williams drivers. He'll be looking to finish quite strong in this race, and he'll be looking to get past. Got to go fast as soon as he can here.
So that's a great strategy call, maybe for Cider. He's obviously now on fresh. It's going to be a hard ask to get those hards to the end, though. I think ideally you want to be 16 laps maybe on the hards. I might be wrong. I'm no tyre expert these days. But WR Smokey, great position for him. He's up into P6 after a terrible sprint race and quali.
Yeah, exactly that, and there we go. Cypher Pass got to go fast, easy as you like for the Williams driver. He's got better grip, and he's got more ERS as well. He'll be looking to close up to Hoopalicious as soon as he can. And if he does that, he's got around 8 attempts to close up, and then he'll be in the DRS and up into this midfield train where McCabe Sam, by the way, is also having a great race, and the Aston Martin now up into the points position. So it's been a master class drive from him in this actual race. Qualifying in the sprint was absolutely horrific for the Aston Martin. He's kept his nose out of trouble this time around, and he's paying the rewards quite nicely up into P7. Same with Smokey. They've both kept out of trouble, and they're both getting rewarded for it.
Now, Crispy's comment in the chat, has Choco called in his UAV yet? I think that's got to get comment of the season right there. I do love that one. WR Smokey then setting the fastest lap of the race. That was pretty good. He's obviously been set into free air now, and he's looking strong. But McCabe Sam, like you quite rightly mentioned, is having an absolute stellar race as well. Choco all over the back of PSR Connor, and this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Can Choco use this UAV to his advantage is the question, and get past PSR Connor? Because Connor is going to make his life an absolute nightmare, because this Ferrari knows how to place his car very, very well, and I wonder if Choco will be able to get past, but he'll certainly keep searching for him and searching ways to get past the Ferrari wall at this moment in time, because Connor definitely doesn't know how to place that car in the right position. But yet again, Cypher using his tyres to his advantage as well. Now really close to that DRS range, and he's about to creep into it. There we go. So the American against an American now of Hoopalicious. So let's see how this plays out and how quick Cypher is going to be able to get past these guys in front, because it's going to be crucial for his race when Otis and Nick both come into the pits for their fresh mediums.
And what Scythe has done, he's actually brought Got to Go Fast a little bit closer to this battle in front, which will obviously... Got to Go Fast is going to be very thankful for. Amin is dropping away from McCabe Sam. It's agonisingly close. Plackey now the fastest man on the track. Matthew, Plackey, M-Racer, Axe all have pitted early because of front wing damage and anything. And there's the Axe fastest lap of the race. So those guys are pretty certain have to pit again, which is going to be interesting to see what happens, especially if we get a safety car. It might work out well for them.
Yeah, exactly, and they'll be certainly paying the rewards for staying out and being on the hard tyres. But again, Cypher really closing in there on Hoopalicious, and Hoopalicious again has got the RS advantage on Anamine, and I wonder if he'll be able to get past him, Will Hoopalicious, but unfortunately right now, that Alfa Romeo is sticking his car in the right position, but he's going to need to get past him soon because McCabe Sam is out of the DRS range to the Alfa Romeo in front of him. So the question is, how long will it take for Hoopalicious to get past?
I don't think it's Hoopalicious we've got to worry about. Sider's had an absolute cracker of an exit of turn 16, and he's got past the McLaren driver. What a move from Sider. He is not hanging around. He knows he's got a lot of work ahead of him to make sure he has a chance of beating Otis Lawrence tonight, but Otis Lawrence has pulled that gap to PSR Nick to 2.6 seconds. This is going to be absolutely incredible end to the race when everything all comes back together. Sider lining up Amin as they come down this straight, the first major straight, and I think that is the move done and dusted already.
Yeah, nicely done there from Cypher. Easy as you like, but now he's got to use his tyres again to his advantage and his ERS. He's going to have to use a lot more if he wants to close up to McCabe Sam, who's got, again, doing a very, very good job, but unfortunately for him, down to around 10% off the ERS. And there we go, Hoopalicious also getting past the Alfa Romeo. Nicely done from the Americans, so two Americans working together to get past, but now Cypher's really got to use his ERS and his tyres to his advantage. He can't afford to lose any more time than he just did. It's being stuck behind those two guys who are now in his mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, dropping away a little bit. He tried getting back at some point in turn 9, but it was never going to be. And Hoopalicious is going to try and pull away a little bit after. It was a very good race for him. It looked like it was going to be a really good race until unfortunate things happened at turn 16. The only thing I can say is just go back and rewatch this stream afterwards just to see the incident for your own eyes. Plackey getting past M-Racer for the battle for 14th at the moment. I think M-Racer is maybe had a spin because he's gone really slow down the start-finish straight. That's not ideal for him. Choco unable to really mount an attack onto Connor just yet. Maybe the UAV hasn't worked.
No, I think UAV has unfortunately ran out for Choco at this moment in time, so that's a shame for him. The Haas man unfortunately slowing down. But again, give credit to Connor. He's got less ERS as well, but he's been using it more efficiently compared to the Haas, who's got way more ERS than him, but he's just not been able to get close, and that's why he's just been falling backwards more and more. So you've got to give credit to the Ferrari, who's just been able to pull away quite comfortably in this last sector as well, as where I've noticed is where the Ferraris tend to pull away, and then through that middle sector, once again, through the tight, slow corners is where Connor seems to have the edge over Choco, and maybe that's just setup related. But there we go, Choco diving into the pits, going for the undercut.
Yeah, Choco's in, and so is Smokey. McCabe Sam brought Smokey back in. You know, Smokey was pulling away, but McCabe Sam was having none of it in the end and has started catching back up. But that could be because he's got a very, very quick Williams behind him. Cider is not hanging around at all. He's pulled 4 seconds to go fast since overtaking that McLaren a few laps ago, and it's going all his way at the moment. Otis Lawrence has a 3.6 seconds gap to his nearest rival. That is absolutely insane. McCabe Sam is only 2.7 seconds behind Piers O'Connor. He really is having an absolute incredible race, but here comes Cider up the inside of McCabe Sam. There is no fighting it from McCabe Sam. He knows that's not his race right now.
Yeah, smart driving from McCabe Sam. It's why he's having a masterclass performance. And the McCabe Sam fans in the chat will certainly be loving this one, and they'll appreciate that one, because I was on board with him there. He gave a little steering wheel wiggle and said to let Cypher go, and Cypher obliged quite nicely, and they'll be working together, and McCabe will certainly be coming to the pits now. He's not lost any time from doing that swap, and he's actually gained on Connor from that as well, so he'll certainly be thanking the Williams driver more than anything for doing the little switcheroo. So that's quite nicely done from those guys. I wonder if we'll see PSR Nick, but PSR Wilson does go into the pits now. I feel like we'll see Connor follow through as well. Yep, we do. So everybody should be darting into the pits, but no, McCabe Sam decides to stick out yet again for another lap. This is quite surprising here from the Aston Martin.
I wonder if he's going to try and keep to the DRS as possible. It's a risky game because he is nearly out of it, but if it works, he could actually have the better opportunity, because Cider is going quick, but Smokey obviously will be on the fresh medium compound tyres. But 2 laps, fresher tyres at the end could work much more happily in McCabe Sam's favour. The PSR Connor has come out behind Smokey. That in itself is huge. Let's go board to see where the Ferrari driver is. It's just out of the pit lane. So very, very close, but the undercut seeming to be absolutely massive because Choco's up the road.
Yeah, exactly right. And the undercut is certainly where it's at, and that's really surprising how far Connor has come out back. But again, he'll have the tyre advantage over these guys who have all pitted a lap before him, so it's smart from those. But McCabe Sam will have the better tyres out of everybody who are in this pack at this moment in time. He'll have 2 laps fresher. Remember, then Choco and Connor, well, 1 lap fresher than Connor. But remember, every lap counts in league racing. And again, this will be the lap that McCabe Sam decides to come in. He's done some very, very good in-laps here. And I feel like the Aston Martin pit crew will certainly be ready for him as he comes around this final corner now.
There he is. He's dropped into the pits. Let's stay on board with him. Otis Lawrence, PSR Nick have both pitted as well. And Cider is going to take the lead of the race, and it's all going to be about the final 9 laps of how quick Otis can catch the Williams of Cider. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. Don't go anywhere for that. Into the pits then is McCabe Sam. Whereabouts he is going to be passed by Choco there. There is Smokey as well. But Connor in his main rival, I think he's going to be far away from Connor. So he's got a little bit of work on his hands as McCabe Sam, but it's by no means over for him to get points.
It certainly isn't. It's 2.7 seconds. I don't think that's impossible for McCabe Sam, as he has got some great pace in this race, and he's on the best tyres as well, remember that. And now MVR Matthew's going to actually probably play him a massive favour, because he is actually defending from Choco. So that's going to gain him some more time. And there we go, Connor getting past FRA Plackey as well. These guys fighting is only going to invite McCabe Sam back into this race. This is exactly what he needs to happen. But again, the gap from Otis and Cypher is already tumbling. 4.5 seconds was the gap on the exit of the pit lane. It's already down to 4 seconds. So it's gained already. Choco getting past Matthew, but Matthew is not giving this up without a fight. It's deja vu from the last session. And there we go. It's side by side. Matthew again giving him the squeeze. Choco forcing him wide. Very nicely done. Aggressive racing from the pair of them. That was fair and hard from the pair, and that was nicely done from Choco.
Matthew definitely getting his elbows out. Maybe a reminder to Choco of what happened earlier. PSR Wilson is the fastest man on the track. He really is flying at the moment, and he's catching his teammate since having that earlier pit stop from him as well. But PSR Connor immediately responds, and he's already attacking Smokey ahead. That probably won't be long before Connor gets back past Smokey. Connor's already dispatched FRA Plackey as well. We've got to remind you of that one. But Choco past Matthew. I wonder if Matthew's going to make this really difficult for him. Nick getting past Got to Go Fast, who is yet to pit as well. There's 2.4 seconds between Otis Lawrence and Scyther for the lead at the moment. Is Matthew going to attack Choco again as they come into turn 6 and 7?
Yeah, again, the gap between Otis and Cypher now down from 4 seconds to 2.
Oh,
so this
no.
is absolutely scary. And there we go, Matthew and Choco. What happened there?
Matthew clips the back end of Choco, and all of a sudden they're all back together. This is going to be an interesting one for the stewards tonight. But Matthew has let Choco back past, but Choco is going to be absolutely seething because that's happened, and he's lost his advantage over Smokey and Connor. I think it's 3.5 seconds, maybe 4 seconds McCabe Sam has to catch back up with this.
Yeah, and this is perfect for McCabe Sam. The McCabe Sam fan club must be going mental right now. They must be seeing this opportunity of a lifetime, because he could certainly get P5 here, could McCabe Sam. This could be one of his best results of the season for the Aston Martin. And there we go, 1.1 seconds. Now he's in the DRS range off Placky, so he needs to gain another 2.3 seconds to PSR Connor. Again, with 9 laps left to go after, including the final lap, this is going to be very, very interesting, and I think he can certainly do it here, because now Smokey is applying the pressure to Matthew, who again is putting up a fight here and a half, and fair play to him for doing so, because he needs to do it realistically, because those mediums are starting to fade away now, and they are fading away fast.
Looking at Otis Lawrence's point of view, I don't think it's going to be long. Into turn 9, will he make the move on Scyther? He goes to the outside. Scyther's holding as much as he can, and he's gone a bit too deep. Scyther's going to continue battling this, forcing the Mercedes out, but it's too little for him, and he can't hold the position. And that is Otis Lawrence back into the lead. Scyther's going to continue to attack, but can Scyther hold on to a podium here? But the other battle is the Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari, Haas. It's all going all over the place, and Smokey can't make a move past that Ferrari of Matthew. Matthew is doing a stellar job to hold that Red Bull up to allow Connor to get him and attack him. This is great driving, great action in the midfield.
Really just kicked off between all 4 of them there. Matthew went for the move from Choco. Choco defended it well, and then Connor went for the move. Oh, it's Matthew Round! Matthew Round! Oh my goodness me! What a shame for the Ferrari man. He has spun it right around on the exit of that final corner. Oh my goodness me! I think that's happened again. I'm not sure how many times that's happened this season for the Ferrari, but his misfortune here in WOR continues. But the fortune of luck is on McCabe Sam's favour, on his side, sorry, because now he's got the DRS of the Haas from being a lap down, so he's going to gain a massive advantage. He's got the ERS as well. He's probably going to stick behind the Haas again, so he makes sure he has the ERS to catch up to Connor. So this is unbelievable stuff for the Aston Martin. But my oh my, there's Smokey going in deep, and here goes Connor to the outside. They're going to make contact, surely. No, somehow keeping it clean between the pair of them. They're side by side here, and there we go. Connor getting through, but crucially, Choco is now out the DRS range. But again, Connor not giving this up just yet. What a fight we've got on our hands for P5 here.
This is absolutely incredible stuff. 5 seconds as a gap between Scyther and Nick with 8 laps racing. He's got a little bit, quite a bit of hard work there, but Connor's going to try his best to battle Choco here. But McCabe Sam, oh wow, talk about everything going right in a race for you. He is now in the ability to attack, and it's all going great for him. Let's hope it stays that way, and we just haven't cursed him, because that could be very problematic, and I'm sure he wouldn't like that, and all the fanboys definitely wouldn't like that at all. But Connor is dropped outside of the DRS of Choco, and that this could be Choco's chance just to pull away and give himself some breathing room.
Yeah, exactly, and it's exactly what he needed to do. Did Choco, and he's broken the DRS, I believe, Connor, and he's going to pull away here. So that's nicely done. And Smokey, I feel, has got to get past Connor to get back in front and keep the DRS alive for these guys and keep this battle still alive. But no, Smokey just falling short. Connor seems to have the better straight line speed setup, going a little bit deep, but crucially for Connor, getting back in that DRS, which was crucial for his race. But again, there's one man they've got to be wary of. It's that man, McCabe Sam. He's got the best DRS in this pack right now, and he's crucially in the DRS. So how many laps is it going to take for McCabe Sam to get past these guys? He's got 2 lap fresher tyres and than Smokey as well as Choco, and 1 lap fresher than Connor. So he'll be the quickest man come to the end of this race, and what an advantage that is around Abu Dhabi.
Otis has broken that DRS that Scyther had on him. Scyther was obviously using that to his advantage just to maybe stay in front of the 2 PSR drivers in the Alpine. We keep on getting yellow flags. Someone's really struggling. I think that could be Lucas. But Smokey is behind McCabe Sam.
Yeah, I'm not sure what on earth just happened there. I'm not sure if it's a a bit of lag, or there was a little bit of a mistake there from Smokey and he had to catch the car. Could have been one of those 2 things. But now McCabe Sam is up into P7. He's been gifted a position. This has been one of the races of a lifetime for McCabe Sam. Like you said, where everything could go right, it has gone right for McCabe Sam. He will not be thinking of a better race than this one here tonight. But yes, again, Nick and Wilson just in cruise control, I feel, managing their own tyres, managing their own race, because Cypher has got tyres which are still in very, very good condition at this moment in time, and they don't have really the pace in order to close up to him with 6 laps left to go here.
You know what? It looked like Smokey had made a little bit of a mistake at the exit of 14. I had to re-watch it just to see it in my eyes, with my own eyes. And actually, McCabe Sam made an incredible move around the outside of 15 past Smokey, and Smokey couldn't defend it. So there was a little bit of a mistake there, but nothing too major. And Smokey was able to keep on battling, and there's just constant yellow flags. I think that's Matthew struggling a little bit in the background there. But McCabe Sam looking to size up PSR Connor for P6, and we've got to think that even if he does finish in P6, it might end up being P5 with a penalty surely looming over Choco's head for the incident at turn 12 with him and Hoopalicious. And Hoopalicious is currently fighting Amin for P10.
Yeah, I feel like that certainly is the case for Choco. There certainly will be a penalty applied, and it may not be a nice one at all after taking out about 3 drivers out of 1 race in that sprint qualifying as well, remember. So it's not looking good for Choco at all here, but he's driving well apart from those incidents. And Connor is starting to close in. I feel like Connor knows as well. He's got to get past Choco now before McCabe Sam gets past him.
Yeah, into the pits for Matthew and he will be P16 for that. We're on lap 24 of 29. Unsurprisingly, as things stand, Otis Lawrence will be the champion of WOR Tier 1. But Connor getting up the inside of Choco, the man that's given us the most entertainment tonight so far. That's definitely one word to describe it anyway. McCabe Sam trying to find a move on that Haas as well. He doesn't want to be stuck behind the Haas for too long because Connor's got the pace to get away from this battle.
Yeah, he does, and McCabe's got to get past him as soon as he can. Remember, Choco's on got the oldest tyres out of everybody. He did that undercut a lap earlier than everybody else. And there we go. He's struggling on the exit there. Bit of tyres. The tyres certainly starting to fall away, losing a lot of grip. You can just see the speed difference being carried in and out of the corners from McCabe Sam as well. He's certainly got an advantage over the Haas in front. So I feel like McCabe Sam will be looking to get past Choco relatively soon. And will he even go for into this corner? No, he will not. So it's going to be all down to the setup now and who gets the better exit. And McCabe Sam getting a good one there. And it's a safety car! Safety car deployed on the final. Again, it's like the sprint qualifying here. It's going to be about a 1 or 2 lap shootout here. Oh my goodness me. This is going to be an interesting final few laps. And maybe, just maybe, the championship may not be decided here tonight.
Oh, who pits? Who decides to pit at this stage? Axe has gone full Latifi. I mean, he is in the Williams after all, but he's gone full Latifi. Are we going to see some sort of F1 2021 finale in our midst here? But Scyther, I mean, he's in trouble. Scyther in massive trouble right now. Because those hards, Scyther has to pit. Otis has pitted as well. Is everyone going to pit? Wilson slows down. McCabe Sam's advantage has been wiped out because of this safety car.
McCabe Sam fan base are going to be absolutely furious. And does he say... Oh my goodness, McCabe Sam has decided to stay out. This is one of the boldest decisions from a driver I've seen. We've seen how it's gone in their favour before, but I don't think McCabe Sam should have stayed out here. I feel like the fresh softs are going to certainly pay him an advantage, but let's see if McCabe Sam can hold on. He's on fresh. He's got the best mediums out of everybody, but he's also got WR Smokey behind him to also keep him, you know, some protection in that sense. But Otis had such a big gap that he even came out in front of Choco and McCabe Sam as well as Smokey. But now let's see, can McCabe Sam hold on to this podium? It'd be one hell of a performance if he does.
Smokey, you have one job, and that is to defend for your life to let McCabe Sam have a podium. The scenes, it doesn't matter that Otis would win the championship today. The scenes for McCabe Sam to get a podium, I don't think we'd see a party like it at WOR. So this is going to be a very, very interesting end to the feature race. Just like we had in the sprint race, we're going to have 2 laps of pure racing. Who can do what when it comes down to it? That is going to be the interesting question. Yeah, this is going to be... Yeah, I mean, Choco, obviously P2. Is he going to attack? Is he going to have the chance or the ability, not the ability, but the tyre ability to attack Otis into turn 1?
Yeah, that's the question. I feel like he won't go for it. It'll be very, very silly for Choco. I think he's just got to be really smart here and just think of his own race, because if he starts fighting Otis, it's just going to get very, very ugly, and it's going to get very, very unpopular for Choco on social media. Let's just say that, because, you know, Otis certainly has got a fan base starting to grow. You can watch his Twitch streams and whatnot, and you can see how many viewers he gets on there. So you got to be careful when you're fighting someone like Otis now with a following like him, and on this final lap where he can just wrap up the championship. I think Choco will be a bit smarter and a bit wiser. I don't think he'll really be wanting to push Otis to the limits like he will with McCabe Sam, that's for sure, because he knows he's got the fresher tyres. It's a losing battle already, but I feel like we've got to see WR Smokey, McCabe Sam and Choco. They are going to put up a defence of a lifetime here.
Now, this is, no disrespect to Choco, but he has caused incidents. You know, what happens if he accidentally, I say accidentally, someone might have paid him to take Otis Lawrence out. You never know. But, yeah, what happens if that... you've said about the fan base to Otis, maybe attacking Choco. But, you know, if we see that, if we see Choco clip Otis, that would be scenes, because technically it could be McCabe Sam leading the race after that.
It could be. Could you imagine that? McCabe Sam, after all this, starts leading into turn 1. After Choco just, you know, goes for a late braking move down the inside into turn 1, for some reason, you just see McCabe Sam go flying through. The chat will go mental. I would see there'd be literally Otis's engineer on the phone to Luke after this race going, restart the race or reinstate the lap before. It'll all be Abu Dhabi all over again. But yeah, what a decision this has been, and I wonder how this is all going to play out. When will Otis Lawrence go? Will he leave it as late as he did last time, or will he go early? Let's wait and see how this all plays out.
He has his championship. Well, he's got 1.5 of his hands on the championship right now. All he needs is 2 laps of clean racing, and it's all his. But he's got Choco, McCabe Sam, WR Smokey, Cider, all wanting to attack him from the word go. And quite rightly, you mentioned, when does Otis actually get going this time around? And he's gone earlier like this time, into turn 16. And he's gone, and I don't think Choco's got an answer to him. Everyone else, all the soft runners, are so much quicker out of that final corner, and Choco is nearly been brushed away by Otis already.
Yeah, it's 1 second, and it's been 2 corners. Unbelievable stuff. There wasn't even a chance for him to cause some drama for Otis Lawrence, and that is championship wrapped up here, ladies and gentlemen. And now, Smokey has got to be unbelievable. He's got to bring out his own in Perez here, but unfortunately for him, that's not going to do him any favours because here comes Cypher down the inside. Nothing, and I mean nothing, Smokey can do about that one. McCabe Sam's trying to give him a hand, and he is getting some slipstream back. It's not over yet. He has brought out his inner Sergio Perez, and they go side by side. There's contact between the two, and that's nicely done there from Cypher. And here comes Pierce on Nick around the outside. Is Wilson going to try and follow him through? The Red Bull is falling backwards, and he is falling backwards fast. But it's good news for McCabe Sam. The longer these two start fighting, the more chance he does have to stick onto this podium. There's contact, and that's Pierce on Wilson round. What a disaster that is for the Alpine driver. WR Smokey hitting the rear end, and my oh my, the stewards will be investigating that one, and it's a late breaking move from Pierce O'Connor down the inside. Unbelievable move that from the Ferrari. Nothing Smokey could do about that one.
Wow, what has gone on in just a few corners? McCabe Sam holding on with dear life to a podium at the moment, but he's got Scyther, and there's a Hoopalicious is around on the last corner, and he was it's just not been his night either. Everything, there's so much going on, but Otis Lawrence has pushed 3.6 seconds to Choco. This is mental stuff. McCabe Sam is under threat from a Williams and an Alpine into turn 9. McCabe Sam has lost the position. Scyther pushing him out wide. This is going to end his podium chance surely for McCabe Sam. Nick is going to have a look at this as well because he's got to make moves, but Cyber at the moment is doing an incredible job of carving up the field.
Yeah, it's not over yet. It's free wide nearly into this corner. Oh my goodness, here goes Nick down the inside. He's just got the tyre advantage. Nick pushes McCabe Sam off. That podium dream is long gone, but he can still hold on for P5. Never mind. Here comes Pierce O'Connor around the outside. Choco's going to have to defend. Is Connor going to go around the outside of Choco? No, he's not. Oh, contact again. Choco's round. He's gone over. Connor, I think's got wing damage. McCabe Sam also getting wing damage too. And there we go. Smokey's off too. What is going on? It's all going terribly wrong in this race. And Connor's round. Connor's round as well. It's going all wrong for the Ferrari team as well. It's gone horribly, horribly wrong. But it's Otis Lawrence who wins the championship, who wins in Abu Dhabi. What a season it has been for that man.
I think McCabe Sam's going to lose it on the line to Placky as well. How close was that? There's carnage over the line. What an Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. What have we just witnessed? There is no words. Otis Lawrence has won by a country mile. Absolutely incredible for him. Choco. Oh, what have we seen? What have we seen? McCabe Sam getting driver of the day. You know what? I will agree with that one for certain. I'm going to give Ryan a couple of minutes to recover. His head's in his hands. We're not...
I can't believe that.
This is incredible. Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got a black screen at the moment. Hopefully it won't be on there for too long. So we can go down the order. Oh, Scyther. Great from Scyther. Everything worked out for him, for Scyther. That was exactly what he needed. Matthew somehow... Is that P6 for Matthew? What a crazy race for him after being... Yeah.
How has he finished there? What has gone on there in that final few laps? Matthew P4, and that's an unbelievable effort from him. McCabe Sam P's, I can't believe what has just gone on there. What, that final lap, I think that's going to be going down as the most iconic finish in WR history.
Absolutely. Look how much quicker Otis Lawrence was. Nearly a full second quicker than anyone else on those softs. He was your race winner. Scyther in second, PSR Nick in third, fourth going to Placky, McCabe Sam in fifth in the end, Matthew P6, seventh to 2D, gotta go fast, eighth, ninth to Wilson, and Connor getting P10. He did get some points in the end. Choco 11th, Smokey 12th, 13th to Amin, 14th to Hoopalicious, and M Racer 15th. Sav, Axe, Lucas, Finn, and Finn Bob all crashed out. How do we speak about this? Because that was insane.
I don't know. There's no words to describe what we just saw, apart from the ludicrous, I'd say, because if that was a film script, you couldn't write it because there's so much different things to unpack from that. That's just unbelievable. I've not seen something like that happen in league racing in a very long time. I don't think I can even imagine something like that before, because Choco, again, delivering some dramatic racing for us again, and dramatic last lap. Fair play to him. He knows how to pull it off every single time, and he just unfortunately killed both killed both himself, Connor, and McCabe Sam. Those McCabe Sam fans will be absolutely livid from that one, but wow, what a race. What a race.
Just how I am lost for words. I am completely lost for words for what we've just witnessed at the end of this. Just sheer pandemonium, I think, is the best way to describe that. Some of these guys, yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Enough about that. It's gonna be all about this man. It's Otis Lawrence. He is your WOR Tier 1 champion. What a season for this man. He has been insane. There is no other words to describe it. I think Jota said on Friday in the Legacy division, he's a machine. I don't think there's any other words to describe this man. He's just incredible.
Yeah, exactly right. It's massive congratulations. He deserved it this season. There's nobody else who could get near him, and hopefully he moves to PC, and then we'll have, I think, unbelievable season between a lot of drivers. I feel like you could not call. If Otis wasn't here, I think it would be one hell of a championship, especially with Nick as well. If he starts every race next season, he will be a real good title contender to have it in this championship. So hopefully Otis can move on to PC, and then we'll have a hell of a championship on our hands. But once again, credit to Otis. Every single race he delivered, and you cannot fault him for that one at all. What a performance.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. That was such an incredible end to the race. I mean, it wasn't textbook, but it's made some great. I mean, Luke is going to love that one, but the stewards might not. But we do have the champion. He's obviously been incredible through the whole season. Won the championship with races spare. Ryan, let's talk to our race winner.
Otis, congratulations. You are the WR champion. How does that feel?
Oh man, it feels really good, bro. Sense of relief, to be honest with you. I was going into the season just hoping to win the championship, and yeah, it's turned out I did win it, so I'm very happy with myself right now.
Tell me about how this season really has been for you, because you've obviously had a bit of ups and downs, but a lot more ups, we could say, than you have had downs. You've had people thrown at you left, right, and centre. And just tell me about how this season has felt for you personally, compared to last game when you were just coming through into Tier 1.
Yeah, this season's been a very good season. I feel coming into the season I was a lot more experienced than I was last season. Been a bit too much ERS and stuff last season, just been a bit too impatient. But yeah, I feel like I've improved a lot of the patience stuff, because all down to experience. So yeah, we're just got to carry this on into the future, and yeah, been a very good season this year. I can't really, whatever it's called. So yeah, very happy, man, very happy.
Yeah, it's great to hear. And just one final one from me about Abu Dhabi there. You are absolutely flying from start to finish there, pulling out 1.5 seconds in that sprint qualifying, and then in the race as well, you were pulling lap after lap. But how did you feel around Abu Dhabi? Because it seemed like your car was just stuck and glued onto that track from start to finish there.
Yeah, the setup was very nice. The quality lap nailed it. PB quality lap as well. So I was very happy with that lap. Yes, the setup, it was very oversteering. You said it was a bit planted, but it really wasn't because last corner I literally nearly bottled it on a sprint, and a few laps. Well, I think it was like lap any something, and I nearly spun again. So yeah, it's very hard to set up the drive, but it felt good anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Gareth. Do you have any questions for the new champ?
Well, congratulations first of all. The last,
Thank you.
the whole of the season, you have been absolutely insane. But talk us through what your mindset was when the safety car came out with 2 laps going. You've just dispatched of Scyther, and Scyther's been one of these drivers that has caused you headaches through the season. But did you think, oh my goodness, this is typical? This is, I'm meant to win the championship today.
Yeah, a bit of PTSD from last season, Abu Dhabi. So yeah, it wasn't the most. But yeah, luckily there was a few cars, medium cars behind me, so the defense gave up because I was on used tires. I was on like 10% used tires. No skid was probably on brand new sets. So yeah, luckily, thank God, medium drivers were behind me.
And did you ever think that you would have stayed out on the mediums, or was it always going to go into the pits no matter what?
Well, it was Caesar's decision really. I just went with his decision because I knew to overtake 4 of them anyway if they stayed out. So yeah, yeah, I had a big gap to all of them anyway, and I knew the softs were going to be a lot better than pretty old mediums. So yeah, I thought it was the right. Well, Caesar thought it was the right shot, and I went with it, and it worked out luckily.
So 3 races now remaining: Mexico, Brazil, Saudi Arabia. What's your? I mean, what are you going to do for those? Is it last the first challenge, or are you still just going to continue battling away and just being how you've been all season?
I don't know. I might spice up with the last and first. Why not? But whatever. I don't mind.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations, Otis. You are the WR Tier 1 Xbox champion. Yeah, good luck for the remainder of the season. I don't think you'd need it, but yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. I mean, how do we close this one off, Ryan? Because that was such an incredible race.
Well, that's my race of the season, for sure. It's definitely been what a race to come back to. I feel like they saw I was back and decided, right, we'll put on a show for this man. Tell him this is what you've been missing out on for these past 2 weeks, and they delivered the race of the season for me. And hopefully, with these few more rounds left to go, I feel like we could see more of that because championships decided. Drivers are going to have more fun now. I feel like they're going to go for it a bit more, and when drivers have got nothing to win and nothing to lose, they'll become a bit more, aggressive in terms of how they go for certain moves in certain places. And I feel like, again, we might see some Choco entertainment being brought out from a few drivers. I don't think it'll just be Choco this time. I think it'll be a few more drivers that'll be going, right, I'm going to go for it this time. I don't care. And it'll be interesting to see if we see more of that in these final three races coming up.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Let's wait and see, because if the action is what we've seen tonight, I'm sure the stewards are going to have an absolute nightmare with it all. But the action to be watched will be pretty incredible to see, to be honest. I think both yourself and I will thoroughly enjoy that one. But I suppose it is time for us to say goodbye for this week. There is plenty of Abu Dhabi action throughout the week for the rest. Not Abu Dhabi, is it Abu Dhabi for the other tiers tonight? This week? I can't remember. There's plenty of WR racing action throughout the rest of the week. I know Tier 1 was slightly skewed, but that was because of the PSGL WR event, which I will remind you, WR won. Just saying. There is the Friday action of the Legacy Division, WR Legacy Division, and that will be an incredible watch as well. I think, FRA are trying to claim the championship, and I think they've got maybe one race. If they, I don't think they can do it this race, but they're not far off it, and that is mainly down to the Tier 1 champion here tonight, and that is Otis Lawrence. He's been incredible. We've had plenty of action as well in this race. I hope you've enjoyed. Please rewatch it, because not only Choco was causing incidents, there was incidents throughout as well. But I think it all started, that incident where Choco clipped the McLaren, and then it all went pear-shaped for the drivers. But we loved the action, didn't we, Ryan?
Yep, definitely. Thank you very much to all the drivers for making that Abu Dhabi unbelievable. And that last lap will go down in the history books for WOR. And I think Luke will be putting that on YouTube and making sure that gets clipped up, because what a final lap. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers for all the drivers. But from us, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.